Hey, everybody. Was that loud?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm excited. Well, usually we're here on a Tuesday and it's a Wednesday, so it's like hump day. So I got to go have a dirty martini before I came home.
Like you don't have those anyways.
Well, not normally on Tuesdays, but
Tuesdays, yeah, you do.
All right. So Jerry Wasson, what's happening? Todd, what's happening, brother? Gregory, Scott, Sam, Frankie, welcome to the show. So glad you guys. Corey, thank you, Corey. I like your hat. Sorry, brother, I didn't answer you yesterday. Crazy day. Broken phone. Got a new phone. Got a new phone today. Yeah, so I had yesterday was crazy.
Want me to order a case with my face on it?
I do. I need a case, though. So listen, yesterday, crazy as shit with my phone. Rich is on.
Hi, Rich.
He's actually sent me a picture. He's in the shop working on the car right now. But anyways, so poor Rich. Oh, my God. So I was trying to do something, and it kept calling Rich. He goes, called me like 12. No BS. It kept calling Rich. I would try to hang up the phone. It would call him back. I'd hang up the phone. It would FaceTime him. I tried calling Lee White. It was FaceTiming Rich. It was my phone was on the blitz yesterday. It was texting people, emailing people, doing Facebook stuff. It was crazy. So Daryl Reed, what's happening, brother?
Is
Great
that
to
your
see
excuse?
you. Tony Wilson Sr., man, how about your son this weekend? How about
really
Tony
good.
Wilson? Tony is about to make some stuff happen. I'm telling you what, I've already planned the awards banquet suit that I'm going to wear when he wins the championship. It's awesome. Actually, I meant to text Tony today. We need to talk because we got a test session we're talking about, and I need to get a hold of him. But anyways,
you need to calm down.
I'm pumped. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's good stuff. Wes is coming on. Wes Buck, Drag Illustrated. We are going to talk about this past weekend's race at Norwalk PDRA Racing. It sucked for us, but, hats off to PDRA. And you know what? It is what it is, right?
No.
It is. Listen,
outlook.
here's what I'm going to break it down real quick, okay?
We sucked. There's nothing more.
But why did we suck? We were trying stuff that we had planned a test session. We had rented a track prior to even going to Norwalk. It didn't turn out. It rained out. We did not get to test the new stuff. They cut the testing in half, which they had to do what they do. No, I get it. And I never expected them to do Q1 Thursday night. I thought it was awesome. I even said it before we got there. I was like, if they were smart, they would do this, but I know they won't because it's tough because people won't be there. So I would have got it if they didn't, but hats off that they did it. But it put us behind the 8 ball, and that's racing. Shit happens. You know what? We're trying stuff. We're trying to get better. We're going to get better. Camry, hats off to you. You did a great job driving. You didn't overdrive it. When it wasn't right, you pushed the clutch in. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Dad.
But you know what? If you don't try things, you're never, ever going to learn. So it is what it is. We're going to move on. We're going to try more stuff. We're going to test before we go to Budds Creek. We are not done with this. Camry is determined to do better. We, as her team, are determined to give her better.
I'm never being embarrassed like that again.
Get ready, girl. It's just getting started. What are you kidding me? You're 23 years old. You're just getting started. But anyways, no, hats off to PDRA. They did the best that they could with what they had, and I think they did a great job. And I'm sure there's always going to be someone that. Do you like my new NGK thing? Look, it's even. Oh wait, I always forget it's opposite.
But it was my
Camry
did a
fix your
good
thing so
job.
people can see it. Camry Caruso Motorsports, yeah. But yeah, so hats off to them. Gary Karts, what's happening, brother? Great to see you. Happy hump day. Gary is the man. Gary is a huge help in any way, shape, or fashion.
I feel like we just out of the blue, he just joined the team and it was good. I don't know how it happened.
Well, Gary's always been around. He used to run with Farber.
I know,
day, so.
but still.
Yeah.
He just is part of the team now and it's lovely.
Listen, good people attract good people. But without further ado, let's bring Wes on, Mr. Wes Buck, Drag Illustrated himself. Wes, are you getting ready for bed?
I'm in our spare bedroom. It was too hot and kind of stuffy to be in the garage, so I thought this would be a better program. And while we're talking about Gary's 13,
are you kidding?
What do I look broke?
No, but why do you need that?
I bought a house. It's a weird deal. I bought a house that 50 Cent lost in foreclosure.
Did you not see the race that his father just won? Do you know how much money they have right now?
So
No, but why what are you going to do with 13 rooms?
What was 50 Cent going to do with them? I don't know. He built a place. So
You bought 50 Cent's house?
In foreclosure, in fairness. Yeah.
In fairness.
No, Camry, my God. No,
like,
this is a rental. No. It's a 3-bedroom house or something like that. We're like transplants from Missouri, man. So we moved down here and we had to experiment with a couple of different neighborhoods. Not really, just one. But we just haven't figured out exactly where we want to live yet in the greater Fort Worth area. Yeah.
No,
hey, man. Yeah.
You do not want to come to New York. How about they just started?
Dude, we love Texas, man.
Let me tell you what this governor just did.
My cousin lives down there and she loves it too. She
says it's the best. Our governor just implemented an exit tax that if you leave New York, you have to pay an exit tax before you can change residency. That's
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, that's the kind of shit that's going on.
You can't do that. That seems you can't wow.
That's why you got to be like Jim Plekarski and just want to kill everybody.
Stop.
Did you see the post on Facebook?
I did, man. It's lit out here. I feel like I'm in a dangerous neighborhood all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It's funny because if you change the subject matter, you would think we're talking about like a consigliere in the mob, someone's only son being killed, right? I mean, that's what you'd think happened. Like if you changed it from race cars to like, I don't know, small businesses, and you know what I mean, to like a laundromat and a dry cleaning place or whatever, you'd think somebody's business got firebombed.
They needed to have a sit down before that kind of stuff got discussed.
Yeah, man. I don't know if permission was given, for
you
for
can't air dirty laundry like that.
I thought
that is unacceptable.
I thought I started trouble, but no.
Well, hey, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Gary's Carts here.
Yeah.
Little known secret, Gary and I go way back.
He's the man. Yeah, you guys go back to the Danny Rowe days.
That's what I was just saying, and I kind of felt like you farbered us.
I did. I apologize.
To Pete Farber. That's exactly how Pete would want it. All about Pete. Go straight to Pete Farber. And you missed Danny Rowe, man.
Yeah,
Gary,
I did.
He was a huge part of Danny Rowe racing. Danny, he was a huge part on Steve Matusik's car, personally. And I've known Gary. He's a great guy. His better half's even better.
Yes,
beautiful. And
great people.
He married way up.
That happens.
Way up.
That happens.
He married way up, but no, incredible people, man. And
I heard that about
Gary,
you too.
Oh, well, it's true. Hey, man, whatever. It is what it is, they say. But I always admired that, and this is something that's just fun to talk about, but like Gary he immediately adopts. You know what I mean? And so like you're a beloved part of Gary's program, you know what I mean? And when you interact with him regularly, and I think back at like him getting Steve's car ready, he always took great pride in like working with Jimmy Rector, which we all kind of took. We all were we knew what we were in the presence of. Jimmy's a good old boy, and he's got a belly or whatever, but that's like a drag racing royalty right there.
Oh, shit.
And to be in his presence and be around him, we all recognized that it was a great moment. It was a great thing. It was an incredible time in Pro Mod and in my personal life or whatever. And Gary's a great guy, and it's been cool here lately to see him back out at the racetrack a little more consistently. So
it's awesome. But just to touch on that real quick, I remember being Camry's age and watching Jimmy Rector, Alcohol Funny Car, NHRA days, man. Like he was the man.
Oh, dude, Jimmy Rector, that guy has raced. I mean, dude's duct taping his fire suit on.
Oh yeah,
and that's a guy that just loves drag racing. It's been so cool to see him out having the success that he's having in Top Alcohol Funny Car. I remember whenever I asked him, I said, "Hey man, how you doing? What's new or whatever?" And he's working on this Top Alcohol Funny Car. What's it? Shane Westerfield's car. And he goes, "Man, it felt good to bump my head on the body." And it's just, that's something that only the hardest of hardcores would say out loud.
Absolutely.
And he's just, him and Karen, I actually texted Karen just the other day, and they're incredible people, and I'm just glad to see Jimmy's a stud, dude. I mean, you talk about like lives this stuff, breathes it.
Yes.
just an incredible guy to be around.
So going back to my youth, growing up IHRA days and Alcohol Funny Con, him and Scott Weenie were right. Like, I'll never forget this. Empire Dragway, or actually it was called New York International Raceway at the time. It was the Empire Nationals, IHRA. And I'll never forget Scott Weenie going through the finish line, and the body blew off the car as he went through the finish line. And I'll never forget, the car wasn't even stopped yet. He was unbuckled. He was jumping up, and he was going, who won? Who won? The car was nobody. It was still rolling. He wanted to know who won. Like, that was some shit. I just realized you're wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt. What is that all about?
It was the first sweatshirt on my sweatshirt pile.
I'm a little embarrassed to be sitting next to you at the moment.
Camry, we're on the internet, bro. You got to dress up.
Gary Bingham's on. Known Jimmy many years, great guy.
Hey, Gary.
Just picked up the first sweatshirt that was on my sweatshirt pile, and that's what we went with.
I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You got a lot of sponsors, and your dad's a Steelers fan, and you're wearing a Buffalo Bills jersey. I don't know what to say.
Are you a Steelers fan?
I don't.
Since day one, brother. Since day one. Since day one.
You know, Steve Matusik's a huge Steeler fan.
I do know that. I
couldn't care less about football.
Even more the reason you shouldn't be wearing it.
Honestly, I know nothing. I know nothing about it.
That's okay. That's okay.
At least support
the shirt.
So let me tell you something. I've had work is freaking nuts. I'm sure you can appreciate this.
This is very important.
Okay, sorry.
Did you see John Montecalvo got it approved to open a drag strip on Long Island again?
I did see that moments ago.
Something to do with the airstrip, right? It has something to do with
and it's like a shorter deal, but this has been like a labor of love for John.
Oh my God,
from what I understand, for years. And huge congrats to him and everybody involved. You likely, as you know, in the construction world or whatever, zoning, codes, getting anything done in any area with any measurable population, even small towns, to be honest, is very difficult. So I think anybody who's ever been in business for themselves or whatever can appreciate dealing with local governments and dealing with local politics or whatever. And out in that part of the country, I mean, you're dealing with probably with some big politics. But that's an incredible thing, man. I mean, I've been kind of talking about it all day, but you just think about that. What does that mean? Like, it's 2021. We're celebrating the opening or the opportunity to conduct drag races at another venue. I mean, it's just people like to get wrapped up in talking about tracks closing down or the struggles or whatever. But hey, man, they're talking about a new one. So that's exciting. It feels like a victory to me.
It's so crazy that you say that. I mean, and this isn't in a racing perspective. This is just in general life, business. So my father and I have a partner at work, and I said something. I think
partners are hard.
Well, no, he's a good partner, but
he is.
I said something, and it triggered him to be like, oh, well, the next thing, something about the lumber prices and the wood prices, because we're in the cabinet business and we do a lot with new construction builders. That's the bulk of our business. So I had made a comment about something to do with the building. He goes, well, the next thing is the locust eating the trees. And it was just negative. And I was like, dude, I don't even want to hear it. I go, because it's always something. Like, somebody always has something to say about something, but yet life still continues. We still go on. So I feel like I just don't even want to know about it, right? Like, I just want to pursue the positive. I want to pursue the happiness.
With you.
Right? I just don't want to know,
man. I've had a lot of experiences with that in my life. And one really recently, just with the most recent election. I mean, we do business with people, small businesses, big businesses, you know the deal. And you kind of see a wide range of different operations. And for the last couple of years, to be honest, it's the song and dance has been like, well, let's just get Trump back in there and then we'll talk about this. Or, because I'm a guy, I saw a post on Facebook the other day and someone said, like, some people talk about other people and some people share ideas. And that's kind of like, I mean, that people in my life think the word idea when it comes to me is like a 4-letter word, because I get I get an idea and I'm off, running at it.
Love everything about it.
And but the reason I say that is because, like, I talk to all these customers and I want to talk about, let's do something, or I want to put on this race, or let's get you involved with this deal, or we're going to do this party, or I'm going to do a seminar, whatever. And all of them would reply to me like, well, not all, but most would be like, let's just get Trump back in there. Let things get settled back down. And it wasn't until, wasn't until like a month after the election when it was like really clear nothing's changing. And not to turn this political, but it was just a reminder that there's no magic bullet. It doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter what's going on. There's always going to be a reason. And going back to Danny Rowe, a lot of people, it's their job to find it, not literally, but kind of, it's their job to find a reason why this won't work. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like what they're set out to do. Like, they're programmed to go like, oh, we've got to do whatever it takes to identify a reason why this won't work. And it's just, it's a bad way to look at things. And don't be wrong, I'm capable of being negative. We all are. I'm sure you have bad days.
No, but, absolutely.
But it is a great reminder.
We call them Camry moments.
But there's no magic bullet.
Because if you took all the negativity that you hear all day about this, that it doesn't matter. If you just keep, it's like, what was that movie when you were a little kid? Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Right? Right? Your kids watch that movie?
Right? Absolutely.
Keep swimming.
Just keep swimming,
that's
man.
It, because the minute you stop swimming, it's it. You're going to the bottom.
That's the magic bullet that'll sink your ship. You know what I mean? Because there's not a magic bullet going the other direction, in my opinion. It's just, you just got to keep swimming. But if you're looking for, instant gratification, you can get it by doing that. It'll sink your ship. And it's interesting because, like I said, throughout life, there's been all these moments when it seemed like Danny Rowe, going back to Jimmy Rector and that. Danny was one of my earliest business mentors, and he would always tell me like, hey, I would tell him like, oh man, sales are down, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, but my guys, they kind of pointed to the economy here and some things that are going on there. And he's like, oh, but that's Wes. That's always going to be going on.
Absolutely.
And he would tell me, he's like, I've been at the time, I think Danny started his business in like 1983. And he told me, he goes, since day one, it's been politics, the government, there's always a reason to fail. There's always going to be a good, justifiable excuse to fail if that's what you're willing to do.
100%.
Yeah, man, it's
but it's just like, it's like the races that are successful, the drag strips that are successful. It's because those promoters, those track owners, those series owners, those people don't stop. They find new ways. You got to find a new way. Your old way may not work anymore, so you got to find a new way. But there's always a way. Always a way. Want to say hello to Tom, Lucas Oil. Tom Bogner's on here. Bogey's Garage. If you don't follow Tom, you need to follow Tom. Gary Bingham had a funny comment. He said, Camry is like Sergeant Schultz. She knows nothing. Hogan's Hero. She probably doesn't know that.
I know.
I love that show. I used to watch it when I got home from school.
My dad loved that show.
Yeah,
sorry,
I watched it every day.
And I even watched it, and no, it's great.
It is. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about.
Question. Did you buy a junior dragster yet?
It's got to be
Not yet. It's coming, though. It's coming. It's coming. You know, when I was at Jegs a couple weeks ago.
You might need to find a house first.
Well, true. Actually, whenever you're a car guy, you can kind of forego a lot of those arguments because, like, it's just known that you're going to keep your family in crisis by pursuing racing. I'm just joking. No,
it's a fact.
I play. It's a fact. Like, you know what, guys? Let's just get comfortable with the uncomfortable because we're going drag racing. Yeah. But no, I was at Jegs, and this is interesting because did you race juniors a lot, Camry?
I did for 8 years.
9 years? Okay.
No, 8 years.
So 2 funny stories real quick.
8.
The first funny story is I had 3 kids in juniors at the same time.
Holy cow.
Okay. Second funny story is my relationship with Tom Bogner started when my kids were in junior dragners. Tom had their back. He did. Yep. That's how my relationship started. Look at
that's awesome, man.
Look, just put that up. Look what he just said. He just commented.
Wes, I have junior oil for you. Yeah, thank you, man.
Let me tell you something. So Brad Plurd, I raced with Brad. You got to know Brad. Brad's a badass Brad, right?
Yeah, and he's one of Lucas Oil's like original guys that was out like on the bracket scene, like right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Brad is who introduced me to Tom, and it just went from there. So Tom has always been very, very good to us, and now Brandon. Lucas Oil has always had our back. They are awesome. And I got news for you. This is no BS. And actually, Lee White's on here right now. He will tell you, we did try a different oil. And I'm as God is my witness, my daughter's sitting next to me, it hurt the motor.
I mean, hey, I've actually heard those stories.
It's a true story.
I don't mean to throw, like, I gotta,
it hurt the motor.
Wear my magazine hat. But no, hey man, I've heard those stories before. And the thing that I like about Tom Bogner, the whole group is, and this is, I've heard this a lot. Like, we could call Pat Musey, and Pat would reiterate this, that Tom will, they're not at all afraid to like custom formulate something for you. They're also not afraid to try new things. They're also not afraid to like seek constant improvement, because that's something that, like, and I said this on a show that I did recently, and I had never heard it like this, but I believe in this. A lot of companies and a lot of businesses were founded on an initial innovation, right? They rolled out some new thing, and that initial innovation, it was like a noun. Like, it was like a thing that happened and then they stopped. You know what I mean? Whereas the businesses that really succeed, in my opinion, and end up with their name on a football stadium and contributing, I would argue more so than probably any other company in the world to the sport of drag racing, the way you end up doing that is by relentlessly innovating. Innovating is a verb. It's something that you're doing constantly. You don't just do it once. You do it over and over and over and over again. And when I think of Lucas Oil, that's what I see. I see a group of guys, obviously it's a huge company, but a group of people, human beings, that are relentless in their innovation and their approach to it. So
1,000,000%. Listening to their customers. Like, that's the biggest, in my opinion, being in business for ourselves. Our biggest success comes from listening to our clients, listening to our customers. If you don't listen to the people that are buying from you, how are you going to be successful, right? If you think you just know it all and you've got nothing to learn, and that's the one thing about Tom is constantly trying things, inventing things, listening to people. I mean, he shows it. If I'm telling you right now, if you people are not following him on Instagram and Facebook, you are missing out. Great content. Yeah,
he's probably making like skateboard wheel oil at this very moment.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like it's incredible, man. Great group of people too. Like you mentioned, Brandon Bernstein. Yep. Like when you just, we all put all the whatever, I don't even know the words I'm supposed to use, like zinc or whatever weird shit they put in oil these days. Yeah. Sorry, Camry. Like all these different things and all these different calcium, what are all these different packs? I can't remember all these conversations I've had about oil over the years, but like put all that aside. We should all like go outside and drain our fuel tanks and fill it with Lucas Oil and just live with the consequences because of what Lucas Oil has done for the sport of drag racing. I mean, like, we owe this entire, I believe it. He's got a 1 ounce bottle in his desk. I believe it. But we as a sport, and you know this, you've been around a long time, and it doesn't matter if it's junior racing, if it's Del Worsham in a funny car, if it's whatever. I mean, and I don't mean this like negatively, but like from the lowest levels of drag racing to the absolute pinnacle of our sport, Lucas Oil has a consistent presence. And what they've done for our sport, again, I don't know. There are few companies, if any, that have contributed to the sport of drag racing the way that Lucas Oil has. And as someone who makes my living here, feeds my family here, and just genuinely loves the sport of drag racing and wants to see it grow and flourish, I don't know what more you can say about Lucas Oil. I mean, is there a drag strip in the United States that doesn't have a Lucas sign, or like all the racers they've helped? I mean, that's another thing too. Forrest Lucas, Charlotte Lucas, Morgan Lucas, the whole crew, Tom, everybody, Brandon Bernstein now, their willingness to help racers go racing, sponsor teams that need it, for no reason other than the fact that they need it and they want to see them stay out there. It's a big freaking deal. I mean, I don't mean to turn the whole thing into that or
you're right.
Because I don't care about, I don't know enough about oil to make a really smart, argument about it, to be honest. Like I literally couldn't. Like I know I don't have enough knowledge when it comes to lubricants and whatnot to really even have an intelligent conversation. But these people have kept drag racing going in a lot of different ways over the years. And
comments. Look at the comments.
Yeah, go to a gas. I mean, we should all just shut this off and go to a gas station or go to O'Reilly's and spend $100. I mean, because these people do so much for us, man.
No, there's nobody that has supported drag racing as bad as they have. They have got it covered. So
it's unbelievable.
It really is. It really is. But listen, a couple of things. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, hello, Tony, Chris. Who else we got here? Am I missing anybody? Wes DeStefano. Wes, I hope you're okay.
What's up, Wes? Tony Gillig in the house. Lee White.
Lee White's in the house. Mr. Lee White. That's a bad dude right there. All right. So listen, we have somebody in the green room right now that we have to bring on. But before we bring them on, we have spent 28 minutes talking about everything except what we were supposed to be talking about. But we have a bad dude in the background that's going to come on and talk about some NHRA Pro Mod rule changes. Glad you're okay, Wes.
I'm available for another teammate if you need one.
We have another one that's supposed to be coming on, but he's in an airplane at the moment. If he lands on time, he's going to jump on. So, but real quick, I was disappointed. I didn't get to see you. I thought you were coming. I know the weather kind of was shitty, so I'm sure you were probably watching that. Yeah.
Are you talking to me? Yeah. Dude, I literally had a flight to fly out.
I knew. It was bad.
And it was one of those deals where it's like, man, I'm about to spend, a couple grand and sit in, and we're in the midst of a bunch of projects right now. And I thought, if I have to, it just didn't look good.
I get it.
I've done it. Look good. And dude, the PRA, like I'm looking at it. Nate's there. Nate Van Wagenen, editor-in-chief, Drag Illustrated. He's missing out tonight. He's at an awards ceremony. Yeah, awards banquet with his just girlfriend, Allison. But he called me. He's like, I said, hey man, you tell me, like, what do you think? And he's like, dude, I can't imagine this is gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay home. So I called my dad, let my dad know, and the next thing I know, they're freaking running E1. And I'm going, gosh. But I was glad. I mean, I hated to miss it, but at the same time, I was glad it happened. I mean, the main thing, and Gary Bingham said it like 5 minutes ago, but you just like, I want to see the people. I don't care if I get to watch any racing or not. I've seen a racing in my life, but I just want to go see all my homies and homegirls.
We found a cool bowling alley.
No.
Oh, really? Did you guys go eat at Danny Boy's?
I did.
I didn't. I don't think
did?
I was.
I did.
I would probably I probably wasn't sober enough to do that.
Oh, it's a cool little little Italian restaurant, man. And
really?
Yeah, dude, it's a cool little Italian restaurant on the way into Sandusky.
We kept ending up at Side Piece.
Sidekicks.
My bad.
Oh my god, you've been listening to too much rap music.
My bad.
That's awesome.
He told people that's where we were. We were not there. We were at Sidekicks. It's a restaurant.
Oh, that's funny.
Then we ended up at this bowling alley in Cedar Point that was really cool. They had laser tag and throwing axes and
called me to pick him up.
Tim Sims said sidelines. He corrected me.
Dad called me, said, I need you to come get me. Drove 30 minutes to come get him, and then he decided he wasn't ready. And he couldn't leave unless I threw an axe with him. Well, I had my PJs on. I wasn't going in anywhere. So I left him.
Bye. Wow. Yeah.
And then I went home with Strasburg's. Straswigs.
Okay, come on.
All right, my bad.
Those are good folks too.
They were awesome folks.
Those are some really good
That
people.
was great time. All right, so listen, we have backstage. We can't leave him hanging because he's been really cool to come on, and he's going to be a good time. And I don't even know if you know who this is. It's going to surprise you. So we got to hurry up and run down real quick through the PDRA.
No, we don't even need a rundown. I didn't qualify. I could care less about
that. There was some good stuff. There was some great upsets. How about Dean Marinas? That was nuts.
No, you guys take forever.
Oh, I was worried about that. I was just glad that he got out of the car, and
that was nuts.
It's just this stuff, a big time reminder of like, how quickly this stuff can go awry.
Yes.
I feel Dean is a very capable driver. I would say one of the best in the game when it comes to making these cars go down the racetrack, and just an all round like awesome human being.
Yeah.
So that's a scary, really, really, really scary deal. Are we doing a whole PDRA rundown? Because
we're gonna go real quick. We're gonna go real quick.
Okay.
We're gonna go. All right. Pro nitrous.
Am I running it down, or am I making predictions for the future?
No,
I'm making rundowns, right?
Yeah, rundown.
Well, I picked Jay Cox, and thought I was feeling good. I was feeling good about it. You know what I mean? I felt, especially when I saw how things were unfolding, and I thought, you know what? The Louisville Slugger can do this. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it didn't work out well. Just for my pick, for the sake of my pick. But Jim Halsey, holy crap, man. This is those moments where you need a statistician, because this guy, his round record right now is spectacular. This guy just is crushing. It's really incredible. And I had talked last week about how I thought maybe there was an opportunity for some of these other teams to kind of catch up, close the gap, maybe even step ahead. Tommy Franklin, I feel, obviously very committed to trying to narrow the gap, but he's just, Jim Halsey's relentless. Brandon Schweitzer, Eric Davis, Kathy, that whole crew, there's some real good racers, and their success doesn't surprise me at all. So I don't know that it's going to end anytime soon. I will say, we talk all the time at Drag Illustrated about how difficult it is to race from out front. I think our sport is by and large comprised of underdogs. I think almost all of us, very few out here in the drag racing community, operates like they're head and shoulders above everybody else. It just seems like there's a little bit of dog in drag racers, looking for a fight, looking for a battle, however I got to do it the hard way. And I do think Jim's going to have his hands full racing from out front. I mean, you're going to get everybody's best shot, targets on your back. You got guys going up there, taking shots at the tree against you. It's just a tough field to be at the top of the mountain like that. So Jim's going to have his hands full. Oh, dude, went to the semifinals, kind of silently in the hunt.
Made it to the final. He made it to the final.
I mean, but he went to the semifinal at the last race.
He's two semis in a row in a final.
Two semis in a row final.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be him and Jim Halsey all the way to the end. It's going to be him and Jim Halsey.
Like I said,
I'm calling it right now.
Kind of quietly in the hunt. Like he's due. He's one of those guys. I mean, whether it's running your car, they've ran really well at that car for a long time, so it's not shocking, but they've done it rather quietly, but he's definitely in the hunt, man. Pro Boost. Are we going on down the thing? First time winner, Jason
we're going to just
Lee.
go to Pro Stock, and then we're going to bring our guest on.
Okay, Pro Boost, first time winner, Jason Lee. I was actually shocked when we were going over it, and I realized that this is the first time he'd ever won a PDRA race. Yeah. He's having a hell of a year, man. But he and Patrick Barnhill, everybody involved with that program, they've had success on small tires, success on big tires. Pretty impressive. I honestly think that they are a great example of a team that has built a multi-purpose pro mod. They've built a multi-purpose door car, right? Yes. They got a car they can go run radio racing with. They can go run big tire with. They can go run NMCA, PDRA, radio versus the world. It's really impressive. Very rarely do you see those teams bounce around like that and have a lot of success. I mean, if you really think about it, Stevie Jackson's probably the only one to really do it at a high level.
And let's point this out. It's a Noonan. It's not a Pro Line car. That's a Noonan.
Absolutely.
That's a Noonan 49.
Which kind of takes you to, if we could generate a little bit what Pro Nitrous has. I mean, if we're committed to running these cars separately, let's get some engine builder battles going. Let's get some other people in the mix.
Yeah.
And, God bless, what the success Johnny Camp's having and Randy Weatherford, the Galat cars, the list goes on. But as you mentioned, those are all flying the Pro Line Racing Engines banner. No shame in that, but it is fun. And it creates a storyline, especially for those of us in the media. Else. It's nice to see some other storylines. We've got that in Pro Stock. We've got it in Pro Mod. We might as well have it in Pro Boost. But huge congrats to Jason Lee, that whole team, securing their first PDRA win. I think only recently, and not to shortchange any, past winner, but winning in the PDRA has taken on a new meaning. It's an ever evolving thing. But people recognize the PDRA, the cars that compete here, as the baddest 8th mile door cars on the planet Earth. Like, God bless all the other things that go on, but these are really high level 8th mile cars. And I understand there's some separation or whatever between the programs, or maybe in the NHRA and PDRA, Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost. But I'm telling you, these guys are winning, bringing home one of those trophies, and sealing the deal at a PDRA national event is a big deal. And I tip my cap to anybody who's ever done it, man.
Absolutely.
Pro stock.
Pro stock. Let me refer to my notes. Oh yeah, Elijah Morton. Awesome to see.
It was. That was his first. That's his first PDRA win, isn't it?
Which seems hard to believe,
because I think he's had some ADRL wins. Maybe
he has, and he's a guy that's won. I believe he's won
NHRA races. Yeah. So
Elijah Morton. That car, that paint scheme has been kind of synonymous with Mountain Motor Pro Stock for a long time.
Yes.
I don't know if the fans recognize it, but Elijah's a guy. A lot of people point to. What's some good examples like. John Montecalvo. A lot of people point to John Montecalvo and maybe J.R. Carr when they think about people who have worked really hard to secure the future of Mountain Motor Pro Stock racing. Elijah Morton, however,
Rob says he has one before. I thought I saw a post. It was his first win.
I thought I did.
I apologize, Rob, if I'm giving bad information. I thought I read it.
I don't think Elijah gets the credit he deserves for being a part of preserving the future of the class. He's always willing to dive into meetings, and he's done his part, in my opinion, to keep Mountain Motor Pro Stock racing alive. So I'm glad to see him have some on-track success, because it's like a lot of these guys that they fight the battle, they have the conference calls, they raise the money, they deal with all the BS. So it's nice when you get to see him enjoy some of the spoils that come with drag racing, and that's what I see when I see Elijah Morton.
Used to race Top Sportsman with him. Used to race Top Sportsman. Yeah,
true story. Joke.
Yeah, that's
great guy, man. He's another one of those dudes that's got hard working hands. You know the guy.
Listen, I know the guy, but listen. Without further ado, I'm about to bring something. You don't even know who we got.
No,
you don't even know who we got. You ready? Are you ready for this?
Oh, he's waiting, so just do it.
Bring him on. Do you know who this is, Westbuck? Do you know who we have on right now?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, he probably had his crew go in there and build those shelves tonight. Like, hey, everybody, get some shelves built. All the trophies we can find, put them directly behind me immediately.
No, but here's the problem. The view in the shop isn't the same.
Oh, no. Yeah. That's a nice place, though.
Yeah. Hey, man, when you're Justin Bond, it just is what it is.
It is what it is. That's a fact, man.
Let's just not bullshit each other.
Hey, man, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming back on. Appreciate it. Stevie's he's flying in an airplane at the moment. He's got the link. If he lands in time, he's going to jump on. We tried to get Jeffrey on too, because what we wanted to do.
He's going to the beach.
So Jeffrey's driving to the beach with his family. So here was our plan.
Mm-hmm.
Our plan was to get each of you, Stevie, and Jeffrey on, because you're all on the same team and you all have different power adders. And we wanted to kind of talk about this rule change and hear it all from one team. Because it's easy to get somebody from Pro Line on. It's easy to get somebody from Elite on. It's easy to get somebody from our camp on, or Ricky, or right? Like,
well, you get Ricky on all the time because he just has to whine and bitch anyway.
That was so bad.
I don't know what's going to be higher rated, having Justin on or Pat Musi.
That was so.
Oh, we lost Wes. We lost your voice, Wes.
Muted it. Pat Musi is a great interview. There's no doubt, amongst the best. But Justin is another guy that knows how to turn it on. I've seen him do it many, many, many times. He knows how to be the public speaker whenever he chooses.
You know this. We started this show right after the world came to an end in 2020. And Justin is, I think, top 2 or top 3 rated show that we've ever had.
Whenever Justin was on a couple months ago,
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Broke the internet.
My phone was ringing. People were texting me saying, "Are you watching this?" And I'm like, "What is there, a train wreck or something going on?" Like I didn't know what was going on. And then I dived in, and I actually talked to Justin right after it. I was walking around my backyard, and I was like, "Dude, you just did a really good job." I mean, it was phenomenal.
I'm pretty sure Fox, CNN, CNBC, and MSNBC all picked it up afterwards.
They should have. If not, they're idiots.
Oh, it was great stuff. Great stuff. But anyways, so we've got these rule changes that come out after Charlotte. And I don't know, Justin, just like kind of give us your take. I mean, obviously you're coming from a pro charger aspect, but there was changes to the turbo, which probably nobody gives a hoot about.
Well, so I got the email today, and so remember last interview we had. I like to come with facts because one thing I don't want to do is be a liar. So here we go, Jacob Marshall. So the rule changes are roots and centrifugal superchargers. We're talking about Denver, okay? If we're talking about the ones that are just standard for all the races, but there's a new rule change out today just about Denver.
Yep, we'll talk about both. We definitely want to talk about both.
Anyways, if we talk about the others, I have to be fair to myself and fair to the world. Do I think that there was a rule adjustment potentially required? Potentially. Do I think that it was done half-baked? Yeah. If you look at Charlotte, it's just my opinion that Frank Manzo and Castellano, they stood at the home plate like Babe Ruth, and they cranked her out of the park. And the second they did that, I think the rules of engagement changed. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to speak free. I think that everybody else that was not hitting F11 on their keyboard decided to hit F11 and start loading some tune-ups in these Roots cars. And I'm going to tell you, they were outrunning us, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't find things and get to where they were at. However, then they hung a little weight on the Roots cars, and they hung a bunch of weight onto us. And I got to give respect to something like, I'll tell you a story locally here in my hometown. I became the vice president of the car club that owns the racetrack. And I've been doing that for a few years, and I really love drag racing. And I'll tell you, if you want to ever hate drag racing, go buy a track and start operating it. Right? And
that's a fact, yeah.
And so what I'm saying is I got to be a bit careful.
I have him blocked.
I don't want to slander NHRA or anybody. So I got to be a bit careful, because maybe one day I could be, I'd never do this, but I could be working at the NHRA or some committee that decides the parity. And I don't really know that I would have done better. However, I feel that the NHRA is getting a lot of pressure and influence from people. So at the end of the day, they're making these knee-jerk decisions, which I think are precedent setting. And I don't know that they see it all, but also that we don't get to know what all their conversations are. So maybe their decisions are very well educated and they are the right decisions. We won't know until we see it all run.
Hey, so let me ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
And because this is the way I see it in my head. And obviously everybody sees it a little bit different. And that's just rightfully so, right? We're all different. So we're going to see things different.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, and I don't disagree with, first of all, I don't disagree with anything you just said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me start off by saying that. Secondly, and I think, Wes, you and I talked about this a little bit. Personally, I think that they should take the top runner in each of the power adders, and the rules should be based off the top power adders of each right? Because because it's too difficult to base it off of the entire 16 or 30 cars or whatever they show up, right? Because it's not fair. You have someone in like Belushi that had all winter to test. Well, damn right he should be faster, and you get to share that information, so you should be faster too from the guy that doesn't show up until Orlando to start figuring out what his car can do.
Well, you know, Mark, I can say this to you because you got big shoulders. How can we go off of your runs when you guys show up in Charlotte with sticker tires on Q1?
Well, no, I said the top.
Right, no, what I'm saying,
right. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
But what I'm trying to get at is that if I'm sitting at home, so I'm Wes Buck, and I took the weekend off because I'm at home with Sweet Cheeks, and I'm just watching the qualifying sheet, and I'm watching this thing a week later or whatever it comes on, because in Canada we don't get to watch the race, but you guys are watching it and you don't know the background information.
1,000,000%.
I don't know all of this, but I know enough because I'm a squirrel. Castellano built that new car and crashed it, and I don't know if it was the first weekend or second weekend or what have you. But that car doesn't have a lot of runs on it, and they're out there bonsaiing it out of the park.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's like, okay, well, you know, Stevie didn't qualify in Gainesville because he's back running the 4.9 motor, and all of a sudden he couldn't go but 582 or 3 or 5. You guys are real data people, you'll know. And all of a sudden he can go 60s 2 races later. Like, where'd you find 2 tenths, homeboy? I'm going to tell you what, none of our cars, Khaled or mine, we just went out there and found 2 tenths. We've been running the fastest we can run every lap, every track.
I agree. And that's that. And that is why I'm laying this out there. And Wes, please chime in. I think it should be the top of, so if Belushi's the fastest and then Stevie's the fastest or Castellano, whatever, and then the next one down is a nitrous car and it's Barker or Ricky or Chad or whoever it is, it should be based off of the fastest of each power adder. I think maybe I'm wet behind the ears, but I think that's the fairest way to do it, because clearly the fastest people most of the time are the people that can either A, have the funding to go do the testing, or B, have the time to go do the testing, or C, are working harder than the rest. I mean, it's just, you can't base it off of the bottom end, I don't think, or the entire field, because what if you did that in funny car? What if you did that in pro stock? What if you did that in top fuel? There's people that only show up there just to hope to qualify. You're going to base the rules off of the person that only qualifies? Then that's a class where the rules are the same.
No, I mean, I've always been a proponent of, I don't know, well, to backtrack a little bit, I agree with Justin in that I don't know that it's hard to make these decisions for the NHRA, and it's very difficult for us to honestly, like, we're seeing it through the lens of hindsight, like, no matter what, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say, like, oh, this is what we should have done. Now, I do agree with Justin that I don't think the Pro Charger rule was made, the initial rule. I don't know that those decisions were made. It felt ill-informed. It felt rushed, you know? And when I think about the hard parts, like, hey, let's throw some weight at these guys. And if we went too far, we went too far. We take some off. I get frustrated because I can't help but, I grew up racing my entire life, right? This is all I've ever done. So whenever I see things that are making teams spend a bunch of money and go test and rent tracks and hub dyno bullshit, this, that, and the other, it kind of breaks my heart, because I'm going, man, we let these guys have a year to get a run at this, and now we're going to – so I agree with Justin in that I don't know that those rule changes, the initial rule changes were like half-baked, as Justin said, or whatever. It just felt like it was a, hey, we need to do something. The phone's ringing a lot. The phone's ringing a lot. We better do something.
Let me throw this guy at you guys real quick, and it's a little
You can jump. Don't worry.
It's a little spin on events here, but what do you guys think about? And I'm just going to throw this at you. So if we go back to Charlotte, okay, and we talk about nitrous, my recollection, and I didn't bring all the data, is that Barker did okay, and a few of the runs he didn't get down.
Correct.
Ricky has never loved Charlotte. And he just did his normal Charlotte deal, which is go A to B, and that didn't happen every run either. Correct?
Yep.
Correct.
I blew up 2 Pro Chargers there myself. Okay. The other thing that happened is this person kicked the rods, that person kicked the rods, and all that. So we're talking about parity. One of the things that I've kind of personally struggled with is anybody at the NHRA taking all these runs and saying, okay, the run that Justin made, that was the best run he could make. The run that Ricky made, that was the 15th best run he could make. There's power here, there's power there. The ignition lead is here. He's only got this much jet in it. This thing.
Dude, you're making the ultimate point, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because parity at its best is an illusion.
Right.
At its best is an illusion. And especially when there's all these multiple variables. And you're 100% right. Because has anybody taken, like you said, how many runs do these tires have on them? Has anybody taken those type of things into consideration, or like the context of that particular run?
Well, and I'll tell you something. When I first started drag racing, I did the opposite. All my best parts were in the trailer, and all my shitty parts were on the car, because I was like, well, you're supposed to save this stuff till you need it. Okay?
It's fine. Right.
Okay, so as a bracket racer...
This guy is a freaking soundbite machine.
Right?
Like, it's great.
No, but so you would start the car and you'd be missing 2 teeth on the ring gear, and you just... and it would start. But you had 2 flex plates in the trailer, but they're really good. Bracket raced forever.
Yeah, let's leave that stuff in there so it stays nice.
That was
right. And now I'm in Pro Mod. The best parts I got are on the car, and everything else is in the trailer. And like I said, the reason I'm going to use Mark and Camry as my example is because I think we're friends, but we're not besties. But we have a relationship, and at the end of the day, if I say something to them, I'm saying it to their face. So they show up Q1 with sticker tires. Then they show up another round with the wrong wheels and tires on the car. Okay, but the data sheets don't say that. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you were working in parity and you walked into Caruso's pit and he says, buddy, we made a mistake. And we go, okay, throwaway run. So if you've been a bracket racer, you use a program called Crew Chief Pro. And they'll thank me for this little plug. But as soon as you send and you enter a bad run in Crew Chief Pro, your whole database is effed up.
Fact.
So what I'm trying to get at is does NHRA go through every run like you would enter it in Crew Chief Pro and go, this one is not to be entered? I don't believe so.
They don't.
And the second thing is that if they went around and they talked to you and they said, Mark, tell me about your run, give me the monster replay, blah, 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 with the mic, and you go, you know what? We came here with sticker tires because we made a mistake and we got a nail in the old one. And they went over to Jeffrey Barker, and Jeffrey, how was your run? Well, you know what? I sneezed and I shifted 2-3 early. Oh, okay, that's a throwaway run, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie, how was your run? Well, Billy's finally found the tuning window. We got another 10th left in it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Right? But what I'm trying to get at is who's validating the good and clean runs, and who's saying, hey, this thing collapsed 4 pistons on that run and the rod bearings were fucking black. No,
right. 1,000,000% correct.
But I think and you're right, because I don't know what the protocol is now, but I know that NHRA at one point in time had a I think it was software, but it was like when a combination ran within XYZ window of the record, or I don't know what it was, but they have like a protocol in place for when they see a run that it indicates an action is required, like something that they need to look into. So then they start looking into it. And we did a story on this once in the magazine. But I'm drawing blank right now. But my point is just that I do think there's some real serious truth to what Justin is saying, is that it's just context is required.
1,000,000%.
Like, I mean, and we think about it all the time. Like, how many off-color comments have been caught on camera, right? And then they ruin a guy's career on TMZ or whatever, but it was taken out of context. And some of these runs do get taken out of context. Like, oh, hey, it got late. The air was killer. They were in an experimental window and they didn't even know, like they didn't know it was going to run that good. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I mean, those things absolutely happen. So I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. I mean,
there is. We just went through it. We just went through it with this new class that Camry's running over at PDRA Pro 632. Well, it's actually Pro Outlaw 632, but I'm
proponent for changing the name.
I'm lobbying for Pro 632. But anyways, same deal. They never came and talked to us, and they made all these rule changes. And I'm like, so then I asked the other there's only 2 naturally aspirated cars in the entire class right now out of 20 something showing up to play. I asked Tony Gillick, I said, did they talk to you? He said, nope. Well, how can you make rule changes? You haven't even talked to the people in the class. It makes no sense to me. Makes none. And I get it. I don't want to be them. Believe you me. Classes that you have to find parity in is no fun because
it's tough.
You're never just the weather alone is never going to make it fair. Like if they finally found something where everybody could run within a couple of hundredths, just the season is going to change that. There's no way around that. Zilch. What are you going to do? Pick 4 months of the year that you don't race the class? Right? I mean,
well, and Stevie has talked about this before, and I think that, and Justin, I think, said this, and I don't mean to straddle the fence, but we rush to judgment, right? Like we're about to see, you take these cars into different parts of the country during different times of year. Some of this stuff sorts itself out. Now, there are obviously moments where I do think, to Justin's point earlier, and to what we talked about on here last week, Mark, is I do think something action was required. I think the NHRA had to do something there initially. But like you said, nobody wants to wear that hat. It's so tough, and it's going to take us some time. Like we're just now headed into the heat of summer. And if you think about how Pro Mod typically runs, there's not any summer racing, really. I mean, like in the past, they've taken off from the end of June until Labor Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we run all summer. So it's just such a moving, the goalposts continue to move. And I'm going to have to bow out soon, just so you know.
That's okay. Go. But here's a great segue, though. You bring up a great point. So 2 things. One is there is a new rule email that came out today about Denver, but an even greater segue is Mr. Lee White has joined the show.
What's up, Lee?
What's happening?
So, Justin, we'll let you explain to the people watching the email that was released today.
Because I don't know the rules. I'm excited.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so you guys are going to send me money for this, right?
Anything for you, brother.
I'm a broke Canadian, but anyways. Okay, I'm going to read it out. Roots and centrifugal supercharger entries are allowed a maximum gear ratio for Denver of 5.0 to 1. Rear gear. Centrifugal supercharger entries with the driver can weigh 2650. So they took 20 pounds off of us or whatever, I think. No, 30 something. But anyways, nitrous entries 910 can weigh 2490. And 959, 960s can weigh 2515. And the Roots cars can have a 20% overdrive. And the turbocharged cars can have 32 pounds of boost.
So here's the question of the day. How many Proline Pro Chargers show up as turbos?
I know that our 2 won't, because I'm not going to spend the money for one.
Yeah, it's not that easy to just swap back and forth.
No, I know that, but so
you'd be better off to build another car.
Yeah, he's right.
Les, you're muted again.
That's very interesting. I don't know that any nitrous cars will actually turn up, to be honest. I think you want to believe Ricky or whatever is going to be there. I don't think so. I don't think Jeffrey Barker will go. So I don't know Chad Green's take on it. Chad might. And Chad has ran at altitude before at my race in 2018.
How did you do there? Do you know?
They actually didn't run bad. I mean, they didn't make enough runs. To be honest, they ran like high 5. I think it went like 599, 598 maybe. And I know that Pat told me they could run better than that, but they just were, obviously didn't want to tear anything up and kind of tiptoed on it. Obviously, no one was super excited about running there, but I mean, I'm telling you, like those turbo cars, they can run way into the 80s.
Right, but how much boost did we have when we were running there? 35 sticks.
The last year we were at 33.
And what did you guys run? What did Oaksis?
Oaksis went, I think he went in 85.
So you went in 85 at 33 pounds of boost.
I think it was 33 or
What did
31.
Stevie run there the year that he did the burnout
Who?
finish line? Stevie.
That was like mid 90s. I think the best, and I think Stevie's probably got more killer runs on the mountain. What did you guys run, Lee? You guys
we went a low 90, didn't we?
I think we went 93.
Yeah, we went a low 90.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like the baddest roots blower cars in the world were running like 93, 4, or 5.
And we were still running a turbo 400 at that point. We hadn't gone to the Lanco with the Chi drive yet, so that's probably definitely worth a couple numbers.
But at the end of the day, so if you go to Denver, it's definitely you're upside down for any crankshaft driven blown car, Pro Charger, Roots car. So a turbo car should shine, but everyone has their place, but there's no turbo cars to be there.
Because we've already.
You guys are wrong. There's some turbo cars that have been resurrected. I'm not going to come on here and ruin it for anybody because I was not empowered to do that. But I can tell you that I've been in a shop in America that had 2 turbo cars sitting there that are going to show up and be driven by NHRA contenders, and it's nobody at Bahrain 1 Racing. I can tell you.
It's probably going to be Chris Thorne and who would the second one be? Chris Thorne. Who would the second one be? I got to think about that for a second.
I mean, it could be Clint Hairston.
At the end of the day,
that's a good one.
The
And they're
rules for
fast.
turbo car-
They've been pretty fast out there. With Jim Harrison and Jake Harrison. Those are some really sharp guys that really were spared from the Pro Charger switch just because the car was wrecked. You know what I'm saying? Like if that car wasn't in the repair process, if you remember, Erica Enders had a really scary fire on the top end at Norwalk a couple of years ago. That car, it took a while to get back into action or whatever.
Look at this. Look at this suggestion. Nobody thought of this one. Nobody thought of this one.
I did see Michael Bealey's car at Modern Racing. I saw the front end of it, but I thought they were putting a roots blower in it.
It might be the one that was sold.
The old one.
That one's sold. She's getting a screw charger. Big Daddy Lee White.
Big Daddy Lee White's on that one.
Guys, I got to bounce.
It's about to ruin
I'll be watching. Justin, Lee, good to see you guys. Mark, thanks for having me. All right.
Always, brother. Love you. Thank you for coming
buddy.
on.
I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Jeffrey brings up a good point. My vote is probably it's going to be Michael Bealey and Chris Thorne.
Well, I mean, if you really look at the numbers and the data, like when Chris Thorne wrecked his car in Indy, we were there. He was leading the points. So he had a turbo car. He was leading the points. So why would you change the rules? He was obviously very, very competitive.
Yeah, he's got better rules now than he had when he was leading the points.
The problem is with a turbo car, no one wants to fight it. A turbo car is a very challenging car to run. I've never ran one, but I've spoken to people that are the best there is, and they told me that they hate them, but they're good at it. So
they're hard to drive too.
Right, and I can't personally speak from that, but if you look at the results. Chris Thorne wrecked the car. He was in the points lead. So why would you change the rules when he was in the points lead?
And there hasn't been a turbo out there yet this year.
It's because no one wants to tackle the challenge. So if you don't want to tackle the challenge, whatever, stay at home. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean it's a good point, and that's why I believe. And again, I'm not saying that my theory is the end all to be all. It's just my theory. I'm one freaking person, but I agree with that, Lee. I feel like it should just be the rules should be based on the top of each power adder, because those are the people that are clearly They've worked the hardest. They've got their program right. They are at the maximum of what that power adder can do, meaning that the rest of us should be able to get there.
Right.
And
I agree. And I will personally speak for our program. We suck right now. We fucking suck. So
hey, everybody's got to be somebody.
Justin ran 63 in Charlotte. The air was good. The conditions were there. The only reason we didn't run what we should is because we sucked. So
Yeah, you can't change rules because we sucked.
Well, and the thing of it is that I always laugh at is that, you know, Wes was talking before I come on the show, and he was talking about Jim Halsey, the guy is front running,
100%.
all that stuff he said. And you know, Wes said something that I hope resonates with everybody, which is when you're at the top, you got nowhere to go. So everybody that you're racing has nothing to lose because they're not at the top.
They're the ones making the mistakes.
So they're the ones, the guy that isn't at the top has nothing to lose. So he lets go of the button, right, Alex Laughlin, and your opponent goes 008 because he had nothing to lose.
Yep.
Right.
And
well, you got a kick out of that one.
Right. Yeah. So what my point is, though, is that everybody forgets is like I go 563 in Charlotte, right? And Lee, you might know, but how many parts does the average race car have? I pick a number of like 2,000.
Absolutely. And they all have to fall in place.
And they can't fall off.
That's right. They're
Okay.
all race cars are a big pile of crap.
Yes, right. So check this out. I go
precision.
563 right out of the trailer like I'm the hero. If you look at my drive shaft, the thing tore the tire off and somehow stuck and kept going. It was a miracle run. Okay?
Right.
Well, then we go out there and we blow 2 Pro Chargers off this thing. One of them's in round 1 of eliminations. I blow the Pro Charger off the thing at like 4 seconds into the run, and Ricky's beside me idling, right? And I get the round. I come in second in the quad, but by rights, if that was a normal drag race, I wouldn't have won.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you go back and look, and you go, well, this guy's in the points. He went 563, this and that. And I'm going, my combination isn't really as raceable as your combination, Lee. If you guys buy a blower belt for every race, we're almost assured that you won't kick a belt.
I don't disagree with that at all.
And I'm going to tell you that I can't go to a racetrack and tell you that I'm not going to hurt my power adder, and I love Pro Charger. There's nothing against them. This piece is in development.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get at is, guys, is we're talking about parity, but the funny part is that if I went 559 one time, they'd have put 150 pounds on us, but I could only make it down the track 1 out of every 10 runs, and nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, if you show up with a new power adder, you're setting yourself up for failure. I mean, maybe not. But
yeah.
So anything you do,
the only way that the world evolves is if people try shit.
Well, you guys work hard.
Yeah.
You give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
You guys work very hard. You have a great program. You guys, Proline, all you guys make great runs. And believe me, if we come back to my pits and ask me, I'll just say, well, we fucking suck. And we got to get our shit together. They make good runs. We don't.
Yeah.
So,
well, and we don't make a lot of runs, right? Like if we test, I mean, I think this is the first year we've ever really gone testing.
Ever.
Like we've always just shown up and Lee's like, I just need 3 runs. Just give me 3 runs. And this is back when we used to get 4. And Lee's like, if I can get 3 runs, I'll figure it out. Right. So we never went testing. But here's the reality of it. The reality of it is we're a side piece show competing against guys like you that have the funding and the budget to really do this stuff. And and I break it down to Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock. There are teams that have the funding to do this. And then there's the bottom half teams. What are you going to do? You're going to change all the rules to the class because of the bottom half teams? They don't have the funding. They don't have the runs. They don't have the information that you guys have. That's just the way it is. And that's why I will not, unless somebody can prove me different, the rules should be based on the top runner of each power adder, period, end of story.
1,000%. Any sanctioning, whether it's PDRA, Midwest, NHRA, anybody should base their rules on the best in the class. And the rest, it sucks for them, but they got to
It is what it is.
pick it up or quit.
One thing I will say to you is that if you as a person race pro mod and you are not motivated by a challenge, pro mod class isn't the class for you, and you should go into top sportsman.
1,000%.
Any class.
Agree.
I would pass that on to any class.
No,
I would
but
say
I'm
that for
not,
anything.
I'm not even being rude by it. Like what I'm trying to get at is if you
No, I don't think you're being rude.
come to the racetrack and you want to have okay stuff and you don't need to test much and you don't this and you don't that, then you can take a pro mod car and put it into top sportsman. It's perfectly legal. Put a delay box in.
Listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think you're being rude by saying it. But the reality of it is, not everybody has the same budget. Not everybody has the same time. Not everybody has the same parts. And that's that. No. And believe me, I'm not taking insult to it at all. Not at all. But I do believe there's always a place for anybody to show up and run any class. Nobody is gonna ever have. We'd have to sit down at the beginning of the year, and everybody would have to have the same budgets and only be allowed to test the same. That's the only right. That's not
right.
reality.
Fair enough, but at the end of the day, if you come to NHRA, you fucking put your big boy pants on, and it's time to race. If you can't weigh up to what you got to do, that's your fault.
Well, I think it's in even PDRA. It's the same thing in PDRA. You have your front runners and you have your guys that come.
It's good, but I'm telling you, racing 8 mile is easy compared to racing quarters.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying in general, competition. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, cheerleading, drag racing, golf. There's always a separation. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? Just everybody stay home and get trophies.
Participation ribbon.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's budget and time. There's different variables.
Hey, do you guys know? Because I don't know this. In fuel, are they monitoring how much they're allowed to test?
They used to be. I don't think it is anymore, but they used to do it. They used to do that. I think that's gone, but it used to be like that.
At the end of the day, all of it is motivation. If you're not motivated by getting your ass kicked, you're in the wrong world.
In anything, absolutely.
Believe me, we go to a race, we suck. I have nightmares about sucking. I hate it.
Yeah, it sucks to suck, right?
There is a group in NHRA right now, and it's pro charge cars, but it's not the power adder. It's the group of people that have the brain trust.
Yes.
And like Brad Personette, Steve Petty, they're all super smart guys, and they work great together, and everybody does a great job. So it's everybody else's job to sit down and
it's tough to beat the majority, right? It's tough to beat the majority. It doesn't mean you throw the towel in, but it is tough to beat the majority.
No, you just got to work harder.
Yeah, my concern out of all of it is that we make good, solid, constructive decisions when we're talking about parity instead of knee-jerk reactions and half-baked decisions, right?
Absolutely.
Like, hey, this guy went 563. We got to adjust the rules. And then all of a sudden in the heat on Sunday, they're going 67 in the final, but that's not talked about.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. At the end of the day, the rules they made for a pro charge car in the very, very beginning, in my opinion, was very uneducated.
Well, and I think other thing too is that they let it run last year, all year long, never touched it, and it just hauled ass.
Listen, here's the reality of it. Let me just tell you the reality of it. At the end of qualifying in Charlotte, the top 8 was 4 pro chargers, 4 roots blowers. No nitrous, no turbo. Okay, so they're not that far off. It's what I mean.
No one wants to run a turbo car, and
right. No. I'm just saying on the roots super.
If you ask anybody that runs a nitrous car, they'll tell you it's very, very difficult.
I would agree, especially, and I think with the manual transmission, with the manual transmission, it is a little bit more difficult for them than it probably was.
Some of the best guys out there right now, their problems of not running good is they just got car malfunctions. They got new car blues. Simple as that. They told me straight face. So
Yeah,
you can't judge that.
it's a tough deal. I mean, listen, first of all, any parity class is always going to be tough. You look at, I mean, even look at Camry's car, right? This past weekend in Norwalk. There's no reason we shouldn't have not qualified, but we didn't. We sucked.
But
there shouldn't be a rule change because we sucked.
But
we
Daddy,
just sucked.
Agreed.
Hey, I want to know why you guys didn't qualify.
We sucked. That's why.
That's why.
Well, all right. So in all reality, we needed to make some changes with the recent rule changes. We made them. We rented a track prior to going to Norwalk. It got rained out. We didn't get to test. We get to Norwalk. They cut the testing session in half. You only got 2 runs. They cut the qualifying in half. We got behind the 8 ball, and we couldn't catch up. That was on us. That wasn't the rules. It had nothing to do with the rules. We just were trying stuff, and unfortunately, we got behind. We made a good run out of the trailer. Our run out of the trailer, the first test session, would have qualified us in the top half of the field.
So why keep changing stuff until it didn't work no more?
Because we thought we were in the right direction. And we legitimately, we tried to go back and it didn't work.
Mark, left fireball.
Something. It was, but listen, it is what it is. You try harder, you dig deeper, and you go to the next race. You don't ask for rule changes. That was on us. We sucked.
Look, at the end of the day, no matter what combo you run, I feel like in most classes the rules are very competitive, no matter what you run. I do think some combos are harder than others, but it's all in what you know. Like, could I take a Pro Charge car and run up front? Absolutely not. I don't know how to run one. If I got my head out of my ass, can I run up front with a Roots car? I should. I have. So, but can a Pro Charge guy take a Roots car and roll it out of the trailer and run up front? Maybe not.
No, if they could,
but
Belushi would be running it already. Listen,
everybody has their place. So it's all about the homework you do. And if you don't do your homework, don't fucking complain.
All right, here's a question for you. You guys see this one?
Yeah. My answer to that is that I'm okay either way. To be honest with you, I don't screw it up very much, so I don't hate the rule because it gives me a better chance of winning against the guy in the other lane if he does make a mistake. And it goes back to my thing of saying to Lee, like, how many parts are on a car? None of them can fail and none of them can fall off. When they put the shifter rule in, it put in another variable for both drivers, but when I don't screw up and the guy in the other lane shifts twice or does something stupid, puts a thing in high gear at 1.4 seconds, I'm like, yeah, baby. So do I think it's safer? To be quite honest with you, I actually don't think that the rule was safer.
See, now I agree with you to that point. Yeah. And I can tell you from experience that I did have an accident one time that I felt like if that rule was in place, it may have ended differently. I don't know. I can't say either way. That's the way I feel. But
I'm going to tell you, if you haven't driven with the manual shifter, Mark, I'll tell you, and I don't know if it's 50-50, 60-40, or 90-10, but right now when the driver feels the car shake, the first thing I do is shift it. So you're going, hey, my car was shaking and it shifted and I hit the wall.
Well, mine didn't shift. It just blew the tire off and then shifted.
Yeah, right.
But again, said, I don't know.
If you wouldn't have shifted, you'd have still been fucked up. If you shifted, you'd have just been just as that bad off. So, but yeah. at the end of the day, you get very complacent when you make 100 runs in a row and never have an aborted run. So,
well, the thing is Lee,
especially that early.
Say this to you real quick, Lee, is on that car that were you tuning that car when he crashed?
Yes,
I was.
So if you would have written a different algorithm into the ECU, do you believe that auto shift was avoidable? We don't need to fight
Yes,
about
yes.
it. I know the answer.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that 100%.
So what I'm saying, Mark and Lee, is that if the algorithms were written that if the drive shaft accelerated too fast, it would
Time
know
over,
it was a
right.
fake run,
Right,
which
time
goes
over.
back to my little analogy of Crew Chief Pro. You don't put bad runs into your database.
Right. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yep, no, that's fair.
He's very right.
Fair
It's
analogy.
one of those things you get very complacent when you make lots and lots of runs and never have an aborted run. You forget about the simple stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, right, and it's just like us. Like, hey, we don't shut the car off one time fast enough. Come back, we burn the motor up in the shutdown area. Well, guess what? Brad's like, you know what? I should put a timing retard in and a fuel wall. So at 5.8 seconds, it just floods the motor and knocks the timing into nothing.
I do that with everyone.
Great. But we didn't have it in the beginning. You got to blow something up.
Hey, ask Lee White about the first time we went to Denver.
Yeah.
We go out to Denver, very first time. We're out there for the World Series of Pro Mod. And we get out there, and all of a sudden I hear the motor go, bah, bah, bah. I'm like, man, this thing's about to blow up. So I hear it, I lift. We come back, he goes, what'd you lift for? I go, man, that thing sounded like it was going to freaking blow up and be in pieces. He's like, you're just not used to this, this altitude. He goes, it just needs to go. We go out the next run, go out there. About 1,000 foot, Lee?
Same.
About 1,000 foot.
Every run.
Right? I lift. I'm like, he goes, what do you keep lifting for? I go, Lee, this thing sounds like it's going to blow up. I'm not all for that. He's like, are you scared to go to the quarter mile? He goes, what is wrong with you? So about the third time it does it, he goes, you keep lifting at the exact same spot. He's like, you're
exact
he goes,
same spot.
He goes, you keep. So he finally realized it was the timing retard was still set for.
It was on.
It kept hitting the rev limiter.
It was a grid box, and the only reason I noticed is because on the 1-2 shifts or the 2-3, like I heard it bump the rev limiter. I said, man, that thing hit the rev limiter. And I went and looked at the rev limiter, and I happened to see it in the rev limiter. At 5 seconds, it went on a safety rev limiter. And I was like, all right, we'll be good the next run.
It was funny, though. He's like, you keep lifting the exact same spot. I says, well, it keeps sounding like it's going to blow up at the exact same spot.
So,
anyways,
at the end of the day,
I gave you the answer.
I don't think the NHRA rules are out to lunch. I really think the beginning, they really did not have enough data. The first year they ran a Pro Charger, they should have made a rule change the first year, and they should not have hit everybody all at once like they did. If they'd have done some homework in the beginning, they would have put everybody in a much better place. It really, really sucks for the guys that don't have the money to do all the R&D and change over. That's what really sucks. At the end of the day, any engine program that revs 9,800 to 10.3 is a totally different deal than something that revs 9,200. You can rev anything 9,200. It doesn't care. So I feel like that part puts us all in a little more of an equal playing field. But that doesn't matter, really. The selling point of the Pro Charger was, it was reliable. You didn't have to rev it up, blah, blah, blah. So the NHRA just goofed the rules in the beginning. They did not have enough knowledge on the whole deal. As far as the last weight rule, I can say on the run you went 63. The conditions were there. If you had a really, really good Roots car out there that had their shit together, we should have been very, very close at it. I don't know if we could have went 63, but 64, 65. It should have been very close.
That's a drag race.
Well, let's talk about this.
We just all had all of us were just all fucked up.
But let me ask you this, Lee. What was the weather on Sunday in the final and the semifinal versus Q1?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Well, I know it's significantly worse.
I might be able to tell you.
You guys only ran 400s behind me, lower cars.
Yeah, I honestly think the rules between Pro Charger and Roots Car is very close right now. And I don't think neither combo is that much easier to run than the other. You guys have a Roots car now, so you guys know what it's like to run a Roots car. It ain't a fucking cakewalk. And if I grabbed a Pro Charge car, I'm gonna tell you,
It probably wouldn't be a cakewalk either. Yeah.
No, but all I'm saying to you is if we're talking about the rules, I went 63 was an anomaly in my opinion for my car. If you look at the drive shaft, the thing went straight vertical, and then all of a sudden it just like went, and we don't even know what happened. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's some of your best runs.
Yeah. So I go 63. Am I wrong, or did they not go 67 in the final on the heat on Sunday?
60. Hold on. 68. 68. He went 68, 5, 253. And, listen.
No, but they went 67 that day.
They might have went that day. I'm looking right now. But the reality, here's the reality of it.
67 first round, and I'm telling you, for the conditions, that was
badass.
Gangster-ass run.
But that's Manzo. He will pull it.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter.
But that's not. Who cares whose name it is?
No, because Justin.
Manzo or anybody else. If he can do it, anybody else has the potential.
I don't disagree.
And
but
I'm
like Justin.
Cut my head off, spite my face.
No, you're not. But like Justin said, I feel, and again, I'll be the first one to say I could be wrong. Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean it's Bible. But I feel like that 67 that he ran on Sunday was no different than your 63, Justin.
That's
it was a freaking badass run.
Right. But,
it was a badass run.
But the thing is, Manzo went down second round too. So for Manzo, that was a freaking achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Manzo
is the baddest guy in the blower game.
No doubt about it.
I don't care how good I'd like to think I am or any of us, the rest of us are. Manzo's he's a hands down. He's a badass.
He went 68. He went 68 second round.
Right. That's a killer freaking run.
He went 68.5. He went the same that Stevie went in the final.
So to go 68 in the barometer that you get in Charlotte, that's stupid impressive. Like, I have not made a run that's been that good in a long time. So
the closest Pro Charger run was yours, Justin, 70 with a 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's our part to do our homework.
But that, you know what? If they could get it where sometimes you're 200s ahead, sometimes we're 200s ahead, that's good. Like they're close. They are close. I don't know that they needed to make the rule changes they made after Charlotte. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest.
I don't either.
Like the class is very good. What they base it on is a group of cars that are just very, very well put together. Like you got Justin's car, Belushi's car. They got Brad. Brad is a very, very he's probably one of the best out there. Between him and Petty, and I ain't trying to kiss nobody's ass because that I'm not that kind of guy. But the facts are facts. Proline does her homework. Brad obviously does his homework because he shows up and runs extremely well. So you can't blame them for doing what they do. The best car to run with him is Stevie. Stevie does his homework. Stevie, Phil, Billy, they're all super intelligent guys. They make lots of runs and they do their homework, so they work it out. So you can't make rules on a.
You can't make them off of us.
Right. We suck. We freaking suck. I mean, we will eventually get our shit together and we're going to crush the shit out of all y'all.
Yeah.
I like y'all all, but that's my goal.
The thing I will say, though, is that whether they needed to do the rule change or not, I was a little bit relieved to see that when they did something to the Pro Charger car, that they did something to the Roots car, too.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Yep.
That I will give them some props for.
Yes.
But the one thing that I will tell you is did they do it in the eyes of parity, or did they do it for some people that couldn't get down to Roots blower minimum weight? That's always the question in my mind.
Man,
I feel like
if you can't get a car to weigh 26.15, you're in the wrong class.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Sign up for fucking Heavy Street or something. I don't know. But.
They need to the if they want to grow the class with parity, they need to look at the nitrous and turbochargers. If they don't, if they want it to be pro chargers and roots blowers, then they're on the right path. Because all I have to do is look at the number count, and that tells you what people want to build and why they want to build it.
Here's a crap part about a turbo car. Don't forget, Chris Thorne was leading the points when he got the turbo car, right? So how much adjustments do you need? Obviously some, because the Pro Charge guys have really got their act together, and they learned their program, and they've done really very, very, very well, right? Hats off to them. So you got to make a little bit of adjustment. But the turbo car, when Chris Thorne was racing, he was in a points lead. He had a very good crew chief that wanted to work at it. You ask any very good turbo tuner, they do not want to race a turbo car. They would much rather race a Pro Charge car.
Well, but that's why they changed.
Yeah. Everything I can't speak personally. I heard turbo cars are awful.
I'm sure they are. But again,
I've never ran one, so I can't say. But
so like when you look at a turbocharged car, the biggest difference is the lack of zoomies, and there's no downforce. So the problem is you can't make them 60 foot. Now, as a tuner, okay, I'm not a tuner, but I understand the mechanical side of this enough to go, okay, so as a tuner, you take this turbo car. It makes no NA horsepower, and you got to get the thing to do a burnout. So that takes a tune-up on its own.
Right.
Then you back this thing up, and then you got to get the guy to put it on the trans brake, and we got to get it up on boost. Well, that's a whole nother tune-up. Then
you got to poke it into the freaking stage beam, the whole bit.
Okay, so that's another tune-up. And then I don't know, but you guys are racers. How many turbo cars have you watched gag when they let off the trans brake and the thing sneezes and shuts off?
100%. I don't disagree.
Okay, so now we've tuned the burnout, and we've tuned the frigging staging and the transmission dumps and all that. And then we got to get the thing to leave the starting line.
Yeah.
And then it won't 60 foot because it's got no downforce. Right?
Yeah.
And then its shake zone is way further out there because it doesn't have, you can't release the power off the starting line because it's got no shake
car
zone.
speed.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So when you're racing a turbo car, essentially you're racing a slow car that you're trying to make fast all the time. And for Petty and Brad and all those guys that started tuning the Pro Charger, it's like, man, I can get this car to fall out of a tree and go 950, 60 foot. And it's a lot easier to put the power in when it's going 950 already. And then the other side is the driver. When you're driving a turbo car, it's weightless. Like you're on the steering wheel, you're kind of along for the ride. And when it clicks into high gear, the windows start shuttering. Your optical view gets smaller and smaller because it's picking up G-force in high gear. In a blower car, the thing's hung its tongue out, and you're kind of looking around and polishing the chute handle because that's how it feels.
Yeah,
it's a reverse drag race. So if
that's a very good analogy.
It is. It's a great analogy. And and I'll tell you the better part about that which really kind of puts it in perspective, in my opinion, is again it goes back to the parity. It's unlike when Pro Stock went to fuel injection. Everybody had the same problem. They had to figure out the burnout tune-up. They had to figure out the staging tune-up. They had to figure out the leaving. Here, somebody's always at a disadvantage, right? Like it's where in those kind of classes, everybody's in the same boat. The parity thing is a tough freaking deal. So it doesn't surprise me, like you just explained, Justin, that why a lot of people left the turbo and went to the Pro Charger. It does make sense.
Well, and let me tell you another one. This is the last piece of why you wouldn't want to really run a turbo. Is you go up there and you do that process that I talked to you about, and we are now, trans brake is down with the right hand. We're bumping in. All the lights on your side are lit up, and Ricky takes 5 seconds to stage. That's a $30,000 run on a bad day. You break the torque converter, you break the transmission, and you kick the rods, 30 grand.
Yeah, that's good old parity.
And that's the next reason. So it's kind of like any relationship. You keep going home to your wife, you keep fighting with her, you keep going to work, and you got this employee that's showing up late and smoking cigarettes in the office. When shit gets bad enough, you got to part ways.
But
I'm an expert at that, by the way.
I 100% agree with what Justin's saying. But in my opinion, I think guys like Brad Personette, Steve Petty, they fought turbo cars for so long, they learned that they really, really polished their skills on running a race car with fighting a piece of crap turbo car.
Hey, they won championships.
And dealing with a bunch of homos and whatever. They now they can run a car that runs like a real race car should, and they're just that much better, right? So they took everything they learned from a turbo car, transferred it over, and just they're just really, really good.
Mm.
So the rest of us just got to freaking buckle down and do our homework and quit bitching.
Quit bitching.
Well, none of us are bitching here, Lee, but we want to know. We want you to share something. We want to know, how long are you going to be screwed up for?
Shit. I'll tell you what.
Until I can afford to pay him to keep testing.
It ain't gonna be long, because I do not like to suck. Because I'm coming to crush you guys. I like all y'all.
Camry's killing the pro mod budget.
I'm telling you right now, you guys got a lot of spark plugs. So is it that you're not changing the spark plug, or what's going on?
Hey, I'll tell you right now, it ain't the oil. It ain't the spark plug.
We ain't made it far enough to change the spark plug.
It ain't the fuel. It's us. We need to get out there, and we need to get testing. We got a brand new car. We got a great RJ race car. We've got the best of everything. We got a badass Noonan 4.9. We got a brand new 4.9. We got a tie drive. We got a Lenko. We got a Mark Mickey converter. We got the best of the best. We just need to go make laps. We need to go make laps. Period. End of story.
We'll be good. We just need some laps, right?
That's it.
Like you said, we came out on sticker tires, and we had the new tire that got us a little goofed up, and
that's on us, though. We'll be all right.
That was my fault. That was on me.
That's us as a team. It's nobody one. It's never one person. It's a team.
And I don't care. I'll own it. But I'm not making excuses for sucking. I just tell y'all suck. But
the question is how long are you going to be lost for and sucking?
Hopefully not. We're not going to be in Norwalk.
The next race, you see the black Rick Jones 2021 Camaro entered in. I hope you got your shit together, because I'm fucking coming to crush everybody. I don't care.
You want me to bring you some lollipops in case you're still sucking?
Absolutely. Bring them just in case.
Okay.
I don't do lollipops. I do Tito's.
No. Y'all going to get yourself some cotton candy bonbons or something.
Look,
we deserve it.
I'm going to get you 3 strawberry shortcake hats, and you each got to wear one for the picture.
That's what we deserve right now.
Yeah.
But
hey, where did your sidekick go, Mark?
She had to go to work. She had mandatory overtime tonight, so she had to bail. She had to split.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I told her she wanted to keep racing.
For that long, but we'll see.
We'll be fine. Well, we've got a test session already scheduled. We're not going to suck. We're going to be all right. We're going to be okay. We just need some laps. Listen, that's what it's about. Listen, and I say this all the time. This is the analogy I always use, because it's what it all breaks down to is it always breaks down to layman terms. It's no different than the guy that plays occasionally golf, occasionally plays basketball on a men's league or whatever, and you show up and you want to play in the NBA or you want to play in the PGA, you better have your freaking shit together, because you ain't going to beat Tiger Woods. You ain't going to beat, Michael Jordan. It's not going to happen.
Look, 100%. Scotty Cannon is my hero. He lives about 15 minutes from me, and he is my idol. Him, Daryl Makins. The simple words is, you cannot beat a guy that swings a bat 100 times a week if you only swing it 5 times. So,
that's right.
But believe me, I've been doing my homework. I'm hoping we don't come out and suck. I would love to come out and make you guys work hard, but right now you guys making me work hard. So Fact. It is what it is.
You know what? That's the cool thing about the sport is it's all about giving and taking and doing good, and then getting humbled and coming back and fighting all the obstacles and having enough ingenuity to get through it. And that's what I was trying to say. It's like pro mod. It's not. It shouldn't be a wallet game. It should be a challenge game.
That's exactly what it is. In NHRA, if you come to NHRA and you cannot succeed to the rest of the class, you either work harder or find somewhere else to race. It's not about money. It's not about anything. It's you pick that place. It is the best of the best. So you put your big boy pants on and you come out there and race, or you go somewhere else and race.
That's right.
Okay, Mark, I gotta say one more thing before we got kind of wrapping this up.
Yes, sir.
You know, I came on here tonight because you told me that Stevie and Jeffrey are going to be on here.
We were supposed to. So
I wanted to go to blows with these guys.
Listen, I am so Stevie was okay. So Stevie and we're like kind of.
Hey, is Jeffrey watching right now? Can you see?
Oh yeah, he was on. He made a comment. He was driving to the beach
ask
with
him
his
where my
family.
driving gloves are that I lent him.
So Stevie, I can appreciate this because Stevie and I we're like pilot soulmates. Stevie recently got his private pilot's license and just got instrument rated, and I'm a little bit ahead of him, and so we kind of have this in common, and we've talked for a lot of years over this stuff. And he had an opportunity to go flying tonight, and he did say, he goes, send me the link. If I land in time, he goes, I'll jump on. But his plane, so he had his plane done, and then I had to go in for an annual, so he's been itching, and he had an opportunity to rent a plane and go flying. So I get it. That next to drag racing, if I couldn't drag race, like flying is the next best thing in my life as far as I'm concerned. So I can appreciate it. Jeffrey, on the other hand, he's driving in a car. He could have had Lindsay hold the freaking camera while he was driving to the beach. He's got no excuse. I'm calling him out. Because that was his excuse. I'll be driving to the beach with my family. That's what he told Camry. I said, you tell that suckhole he better freaking get on here tonight. So, but yeah, you know what? In all seriousness, I would love to do this again because I really do believe it would be awesome to have you guys all being on the same team with 3 different power adders, getting that vibe. Like I thought it would have been so easy to get 2 other people. It would have been so easy.
Why didn't we get Ricky on here tonight?
Because that wouldn't have done any good.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from him, but it would have been one-sided. I feel like as a team.
Do you know how many championships Ricky has won?
13. Do you know he's been racing for 42 years?
13. I'm done. I gotta go. I gotta go. Justin, have a good night, Mark. I gotta go.
Yeah. I love you, Lee. Hey, did that weight go down yet, or would it go up, or what's going on? I got Lee over there weighing tires, trying to figure out how to save weight on Camry's car.
It's maintaining. I got it. See you guys.
All right, brother. Love you.
See you.
Okay, I'll see you later.
See ya. Oh man, too funny. Justin, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on again. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You're a great friend. You're a great racer. It's awesome to have you on here and get your point of view. You're always very open-minded and honest, and that's what it's about, man. You know, it is what it is, right? Like I feel,
you know what? For sometimes when I come off on here, maybe a little arrogant or whatever, I mean, whether I am that way or I'm not, that's immaterial. The reality of it is I come on here to help Caruso Family Racing. I know that this your sponsors appreciate you guys making this show, and I think it's good. And I think if all of us approach this sport with the same thing, you got to give a little to get a little. I come on here as my giving part, and we need fans, we need to support all of our sponsors, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely, and we greatly appreciate it. The only thing I wish your teammates could have been on here with you. Hopefully we can do it another time because I think it would make a great show. Like that to me, that is that would be perfect. It would be so easy to get 2 other people from different, but I just feel like coming from the same sponsor and team and everything, it would be so awesome to get everybody's opinion. So hopefully we can make that happen. I know it's tough right now. Everybody's busy. It's crazy times. But I greatly appreciate you taking the time. I understand Jeffrey's with his family. I understand Stevie's flying. It's all good stuff. I can respect and appreciate both of them. But thank you so much as always. And unfortunately we won't see you in Norwalk because we're going to be at a PDRA race with Camry. But we will hopefully see you in Brainerd, Indy, and Charlotte.
So what are you guys going to change in the deal? You going to give that motor some more snap, or what's going on?
With Camrys or with ours?
Yeah, with Camrys.
So Camrys, I don't think we're fighting motor. We are fighting. So, in my opinion, we're fighting a couple of things. We had a bad strut. We had a bad strut in Norwalk that we were fighting, and we tried to overcompensate it with some other stuff, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. We had changed some weight. We did get a little bit down. We're still about 40 pounds heavy than what I don't think we can get too much closer, but we do have some great new struts from PRS. Adam and his crew over there hooked us up huge. He actually brought him to the track, but we were already behind, so it was tough to put him on and take that chance too.
Yeah, but in retrospect, you probably should have now, huh?
It's a tough call, man. It really is.
Adam's stuff is the best. You could have bolted it on, went straight down Broadway.
I asked Adam, and he was a little apprehensive.
Yeah, but he's not a risk taker.
If Adam would have said, "Mark, this is what we need to do," I would have been like, "Do it." Yeah. He was a little apprehensive because we were already behind the 8-ball, and there would have been and we don't. They were the long struts, and we didn't have long struts on, so we might have needed new control on. Like it may have created a nest that we couldn't have overcome there. So we just didn't, but they will be on, and we're going to go testing before Maryland. And listen, it is what it is, you know.
What you guys should be doing, and I'm not telling you, but I'm suggesting, is when you go test that car, take the Pro Mod with you.
We are.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we are.
And honestly, I'll tell you something. Sometimes you don't need to make 30 laps. You just need to unload it and go, I let go of the button, and I seen where the converter flashed to, and Lee doesn't like that. We put it back in the box.
Yeah, no, listen, we are close with Camry's car, and we still have some stuff that we haven't unleashed yet. We still got a 10-inch clutch in it, double disc. We do have an 8-inch triple disc. So we are making, it's all good. It sucked not qualifying. Don't get me wrong, but we're trying to do things that are going to improve us, and I do believe they will. So that's all. It's all part of the gig. It is what it is.
Question: How upset was she when she didn't qualify?
She was definitely disappointed, and I get it. I've been there. It sucks. It is no fun. But I think she handled it well. All considered things. I mean, she was disappointed. She was disappointed. That's the best way I can put it. And I don't know anybody that is a great competitor that wouldn't be like that. That sucks. You don't even get to compete. And we left last Tuesday after the show and drove all night long to go test at a racetrack that we got rained out at and didn't get to. And then we get to Norwalk and they got rained out. And we only got 2 tests. And then they cut so it was a long week. It was a long weekend. So it was hard on everybody, It wasn't from lack of effort. It was just lack of time and, unfortunately, preparation. And it was Mother Nature's fault. I don't think it was our fault. I feel like if we would have got the day at Dragway 42 on Wednesday, we would have we went 30 off the trailer the first test at Norwalk.
Is that the fastest you ever been?
No, you know what? It might have been. But she went a 30 in Bowling Green, but it was dark and it was late at night, and it was she lifted a little bit early in the run, so we probably would have won a 28. But the next run, she was lined up a little bit to the left, and she picked up 3 in the 60 better than we've ever gone. So we felt like we should have probably won a 25 there in qualifying. We should have been able to go a 25, maybe even a 24. And we just made some other changes that we probably shouldn't have, but we did, thinking it was for the better. Then we tried to go back, and it just didn't work out. It was abbreviated testing. It was abbreviated qualifying, and it just didn't play into our favor. That's racing. That wasn't rules. That was racing. And but I don't think we could have went anywhere near what number 1 and 2 went.
Why are you one of the only 3 cars that are NA left?
Because the rules are a little bit off. And again, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not blaming it all on rules, but in all fairness, I had a conversation with the gentleman that is making the rules. And when we had a conversation, he said to me, when he made the rule changes, they looked at Johnny Placino's runs. Well, Johnny Placino hasn't run Pro 632 in 3 years, and he ran a Hemi. We're not running a Hemi, and we're running now. What does that have to do with the rules today with naturally aspirated? So that to me was a little bit disappointing. But again, I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to do whatever we got to do to run the best that we can.
Hemi that Johnny Placino ran, is that still a purchasable item?
I wouldn't purchase it because for what you have to pay to purchase that, I'll go Mountain Motor Pro Stock racing. I'll bail on 632 because that's what they want for those motors. I could buy a Mountain Motor Pro Stock. So it's that and that's the problem. There lies the problem. It's like, okay, if you're going to be a big block Chevy, but when he said that to me about the rules of what he based it on was just like, does NHRA go back and look at what Warren Johnson and Bob Glidden ran? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I will tell you this much. All of these sanctioning bodies, they're like accountants, they're historians. So they don't just look at current day's runs.
And they never talk to me.
Neither does Lee. Like if you look at Lee White, he's like, well, last year Chris Thorne was ahead the points. And it's like, but that was last year.
Yeah. But there's no turbocharged to base it off of this year. That I get.
You need a mix of history and a mix of current day, right?
Well, yes and no. In his defense, he's basing that off of a turbo to a turbo, and there's no turbos to compare it to this year. Yeah. This guy was comparing it off of a big block Chevy to a Hemi this year to 3 years ago. What? What? I mean, that's like comparing English to Japanese. In my opinion,
I like least about a parody and rule changing is that I've always found that in the background, there's always, in my opinion, some sort of level of corruption that has to be involved to make these decisions make sense.
I guess I don't know, but listen, like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's not going to change our program. We're going to dig deep. We're going to test. We're going to do everything in our power, but there will come a point where it makes sense to spend the kind of money in 632 that we would have to do to be where other power adders are.
Right, to get to the top of the heap.
Yes, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not. It's not going to change how hard we're going to work, how deep we're going to dig, but financially, we have to be smart. You can't.
But why don't you just let her drive the Pro Mod car
then? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. She's got to walk before she runs. She's doing a great job. I'm very proud of her. She has done a great job letting the clutch out, hitting the gears, pushing the clutch in when she should. I'm very proud of her, but I'm not going to stick her in a car that
just,
I don't.
She paid me $100 to ask you that.
I'm sure she did. Yeah. You know what? And I'm sure someday she will be plenty capable of. But I am not that dad. I am not going to stick my daughter in something that I just because she wants to be in it or we can afford to do it. I'm not going to do it. If she proves herself, she will get to do it. And I'm not saying it that she's not capable. Justin, these cars are. It's not a split second decision. Sometimes it's a tenth of a split second decision. And she's 23 years old. So,
and you want to have grandchildren, don't you?
I hope so someday. Yeah. So I'm not that guy. If my daughter, she will. I'm not saying she'll never do it, but she will work her way into it.
Right.
That's all. I mean, I'm gonna be 50 years old, man. I started doing this when I was 16. You know what I mean? I started in bracket cars, super gas, super street, super gas, super comp, top dragster, top sportsman. Pro Boost, you know what I mean? Like, So I'm not going to just let her go from top dragster to Pro Mod. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, let's cut her there.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right, brother. Have a great night. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us at Caruso Family Racing. Thanks for hanging out an extra day before we could get to you. It was tough with a short week. Camry had to bail. She had some mandatory overtime, but it was great having Wes on, great having Justin on, great having Lee on. First time for Lee. That was pretty cool. And bummer that we couldn't get Jeffrey and Stevie on, but I'm sure we will. Thank you so much to all the people that support us. Wright Trailers, NGK Spark Plugs, Lucas Oil, MGP Connecting Rods, VP Racing Fuels, Fuel Tech, Manly, Speed Shark Graphics, Modern Racing, Callie's, PRS, Kings of Vapor, Hoosier Racing Tires, Line to Line Coatings. We appreciate every one of you. Power Built Tools, one of the OGs. Awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us, standing behind us. Thank you to you, the fans. And we'll see you back here next week. Remember, it's nice to be important, but it's way more important to be nice. See ya.